This video from an American nursing home just went viral, and people are demanding that someone goes to jail. The images are grainy, the audio is muffled, but the message it sends is terrifyingly clear. It is a moment of private suffering made public, a window into a world that so many of us fear for our parents, our grandparents, and eventually, for ourselves. This is not a scene from a horror film. It is a raw, unedited slice of reality for one family, and it has ignited a firestorm of outrage across the nation. The anger is palpable, spreading from one social media feed to another, because the vulnerability on display is something we all understand on a deeply personal level. Choosing a nursing home is an act of immense trust. Families spend weeks, sometimes months, touring facilities, reading online reviews, speaking with administrators. They review glossy brochures that promise compassionate, round-the-clock care and a vibrant community. When they sign the admission papers and help their loved one move in, they are handing over the well-being of someone they cherish to a group of strangers. They are placing their faith in the employees, in the management, and in the oversight systems. The family in this story went through that same process. They believed they had chosen a reputable home. The facility was clean, the state inspection reports seemed adequate, and other residents appeared well-tended. They left their mother there with the heavy but hopeful feeling that she would be safe, comfortable, and treated with the respect she deserved. They would visit often, bring her favorite things, and hold her hand, believing that professional caregivers would handle the difficult tasks with expertise and kindness. A family made a difficult choice. They decided to place a small, hidden camera inside their mother's room at a facility they had researched and trusted. Their mother, navigating the isolating fog of late-stage dementia, had lost her ability to communicate her needs or her pain. Subtle signs had begun to worry the family. Unexplained bruises, a new sense of withdrawal, a feeling that something was profoundly wrong. They needed to see what was happening when they were not there. They needed to become the eyes and ears for a woman who had lost her own voice, and they hoped their fears were just fears. The footage they captured confirmed their worst anxieties and then went far beyond them. The camera recorded a resident left unattended in a soiled bed for hours, her calls for help, though weak, deliberately ignored by staff members. It chronicled moments of casual cruelty, with caregivers laughing and scrolling on their phones just outside her door, while she was in clear distress. The video itself is only a few minutes long, but the neglect it documents stretched on for much longer. It is a heartbreaking testament to a complete breakdown of care, a betrayal of the most basic promise to provide a safe and dignified environment. When the family, overwhelmed with grief and fury, shared the video online, it detonated like a bomb. It was viewed millions of times on TikTok. Users reacted with visceral shock. Users shared their own stories of concern. On Reddit, forums dedicated to the topic exploded with comments, a digital chorus of anger and shared anxiety. The refrain was consistent and powerful. This could be my mom. This could be our dad. The video transcended its specific context, becoming a symbol for a widespread fear that the systems designed to care for our most vulnerable elders are failing catastrophically, and that this failure is happening behind closed doors. It really struck a nerve with people everywhere. That carefully constructed trust was utterly demolished by what the hidden camera revealed. The lens did not see the polished hallways or the smiling faces presented to visitors. It saw the reality of the third shift, the moments when no one was watching, or so they thought. It showed a stark contrast between the promises made on paper and the neglect practiced in private. The camera became an unblinking witness to the truth, capturing the moments of indifference and impatience that would never be written down in a nurse's chart or mentioned in a daily report. While the actions of the individuals in the video are inexcusable, pointing fingers at a few bad Apple employees misses the much larger, more troubling picture. The outrage spreading online is not just about a single incident. It is about the recognition that this horror is a symptom of a deeply diseased system. Experts, industry whistleblowers, overworked caregivers themselves point to chronic understaffing, unlivable wages, inadequate training. These are not excuses for abuse, but they are the conditions that create a fertile ground for neglect and burnout to fester, turning a place of care into a place of danger. Nursing homes across the country, particularly those reliant on Medicaid funding, operate on razor-thin margins. To cut costs, the first thing that is often slashed is labor. 1 or 2 certified nursing assistants on a shift responsible for dozens of residents, many with complex medical needs. A single aide might be tasked with feeding, bathing, dressing, and turning more than a dozen people in a matter of hours. It is an impossible workload, leading to a frantic, assembly line approach to care where residents become tasks to be completed rather than people to be tended to. Furthermore, the compensation for this backbreaking work is tragically low. CNAs, who provide the vast majority of direct, hands-on care, are among the lowest paid workers in the entire healthcare industry. Many earn wages near the poverty line, forcing multiple jobs. The constant churn means no continuity and perpetual short staffing. This environment of exhaustion and desperation is a recipe for disaster. Call lights go unanswered. Patience wears thin, and compassion frays. Neglect is often not born from malicious intent, but from a system that sets its employees up to fail. Weak oversight and lenient enforcement allow these dangerous conditions to persist. The viral video is a snapshot of this systemic failure, a moment where the inevitable consequences of prioritizing profits over people were caught on camera for all to see. In the wake of this viral footage, families across the country are asking themselves a new question: should we put a camera in the room? The idea of using technology to monitor a loved one's care has become a flashpoint. For many, these small, easily hidden cameras, often called granny cams, are seen as a vital tool for protection. They ensure accountability when a resident cannot speak for themselves. Proponents argue that a camera, known or unknown, can deter neglect and abuse, ensuring caregivers are on their best behavior. However, the issue is legally and ethically complex. The laws vary dramatically by state. Some permit cameras with facility and roommate notification. Elsewhere, legality is a gray area, balancing safety against privacy. Administrators and unions often oppose cameras, citing resident and employee privacy, hostile work environments, and roommate consent. Families fear without cameras they'll never know the truth, yet worry about laws and relationships with staff. Still, these cameras have exposed abuse, secured firings, and led to criminal charges, proof that for some, the only path to justice was a lens. The debate is not just about privacy, it is about power, and a camera can shift that power back to the vulnerable and their advocates. This viral video is more than just a moment of digital shock. It is a profound moral challenge to our society. Anger is necessary, but anger alone will not fix broken systems. It must become a demand for concrete, systemic change. Mandatory staffing ratios, better wages and training for CNAs, stronger, unannounced inspections with real penalties, a clear right for families to install cameras with appropriate privacy protections.